I'm doing this commentary as along the footage I'm rewatching. It's not during what I played, and I don't pre-watch the footage to write the script, so I'm just winging it. Yeah, this is the final boss before the final boss. It will be a long video, so let's talk about the other classes. So Onion Knight is the penultimate class for the very last level because it can for every magic and every weapon, other equipment, almost, of course. Freelancer is just kinda like Onion Knight, but way more restricted, and the stats only goes like halfway. Everybody's saying that Warrior is pre-evo of the Knight, but this is actually not true. Knight is a defense-oriented character job, and its damage is way worse than Warrior. Warrior is the attack variant. They are really kind of the same, but the Knight doesn't get the same amount of damage from it, even before counting the Knight's pretty useless ability, which is just protecting for other characters. It's just why it's even here. It's not the game where you need this. Warrior just naturally gets higher damage, and its ability can buff it even further, although at the cost of defense, and it's nowhere near as good as the Monk's retaliation. Of course, Monk has to be hit physically to retaliate, but that still makes it like legendarily good class, easily S rank, especially considering how rare magic is in this game from the enemies, monsters, whatever you want to call it. White Mage is just a healer with barely any damaging ability, so yeah, it's very good if you are playing as, you know, with a normal team, but otherwise it gets surpassed by the Devote. Black Mage, which gets surpassed by the Magus, is your damaging spellcaster class, but magic is not that good in this game. It's never getting even close on the damage per hit, like a warrior class, and that's why Red Mage is so good in the early game, because it can use both weapons and can cast spells. So during the mini dungeons, mini dungeon phase, so like the first half of the game, it's a recommendable class. Still, if I'm doing a party, I would take one white mage, one black mage, and two red mage, because, you know, those get more spells and higher effectiveness, but still, red mage is cool. Until a certain point, of course. Thief is, well, there is one equipment that requires teeth. One of the spears. It's really just... By the way, in considering the footage that's rolling, at this point you can't go back. I've tried. I even tried the teleporting stuff, and again, doesn't work. So you better have an archive save, and you start relying on the quick save trick. But I don't get this guy. He looks very funny for me. At least while not in combat. In combat it transforms like the Pokemon trainers. They form figured out to an actual okay looking sprite. See, it's a great guy. Great skin. Sure, it's a black one, so it's kind of fishy, but it's come from Asia, and there the black faces means a very different thing. It's a kind of respect. I tried this boasting stuff. I think that was that. Yeah, it's the black belt. I play the black belt, not the monk. But boast is useless, entirely useless in this game. It doesn't give you any advantage. If it would boost every subsequent attack, then it would be good, but only the next time you attack is getting boosted, so you are losing the chance for criticals and all that kind of stuff. It's not a good ability. That's why I rank black belt. It gets more health when leveling up, but otherwise it's behind the monk when it comes to fighting prowess. So thief is otherwise can unlock lock doors, but it's a whole hassle when you are in the middle of a dungeon. You get all those negative bonuses because you switched job. It's annoying, and the worst thing is that you have to re-equip the equipment you have. It just kills you. This is a scripted fight, so don't worry about it. I think I did 1 damage to her, so it's funny. Anyway, so thief is kinda useless. I mean, you probably will switch to it when you first have the chance to visit the Argos Castle on the Flying Continent's western side, because there are 2 doors that are locked but containing some semi-good loot, but otherwise it's just, you don't want that. And Scholar's stats are weak as a kitten, and it's fine to have one while you have a full team, but otherwise, well, it would be a fun challenge run to have a party which has a scholar. This is the World of Darkness. The road is hidden by this wall of fog, but it really doesn't mean much. So the scholar can throw damaging items. It doubles the damage. It's a passive ability, so it's absolutely fine if you want to, do the gimmick, but otherwise it's just whatever. I like the sprite of this, although this doesn't have nipples like the old Jedi woman turned into that thing that kinda looks like it had a nipple. This doesn't. It looks like something coming from the 80s, those hair metal and whatever could have walked on the streets of New York back in the day. I'm pretty sure that I will lose this fight for this one, and I had to walk all the way back and do the Xander fight again because I just went back to the main screen. It's totally stupid. It's, whatever happens with the best of us. Anyway, there is this gem answer, which is, it can cast spell without the mana cost, but it's not actually a spell, and the effect is kinda random, and gimmicky, very gimmicky. I don't know why originally it was locked behind the third crystal set of jobs. It's just silly. Then there is the dragoon. It's too vulnerable. And then how it works is it jumps in the first turn and lands in the second. So if you are in a team, you actually lose a turn compared to the other characters. So it's just stupid. The Viking, it's they say it has a low hit chance and all that kind of jazz, and the slowness doesn't matter because here nobody ever gets to turn over the other just for speed or like at all. Even if they cast haste, it doesn't affect that kind of stuff. It's just whatever. It's the defense that never played a role in my plays, but when I did the Iron Giant and didn't want to grind up to 99, I tried the Viking and it can just stand there getting hit. Yeah, when you only have one enemy, it's meaning bosses, its ability works on bosses. It's devastating. It just can't stand there and the white mage or devil will heal it or sage. Dark Knight is just entirely useless. It promises that it prevents monsters splitting, but it either the monsters split it. They don't split. They actually multiply. So either it just disables that ability, or in the original Famicom version it had. They did split when getting hit, but in the 3D version they don't split. I realized I made a mistake here. Or maybe when I first went to this Cerberus thing, I even had the problem that it was supposed to be another boss. They looked at wrong guide and whatever. So here I putting up the equipment and all that stuff, because this one attacks 3 times. That's a lot. But you know, with Monk you can retaliate 3 times. That's insane. The black belts didn't have a chance here, but the Monk is just laughing it off. I started to worry at some point that I have to redo the entire part because, you know, maybe I'm too low for the 4th boss here or the final boss. I think I got just entirely lucky. This is I knew I can win with these stats. There was no problem here, but I knew I'm running low on the potions, the healing options, so I knew I can grind for more levels. This and the previous deck, you know, these were easy, so I knew it. The third one is, if I'm correct, is that Azrael or Azazel or Archon, whatever thing, this flying blob thing. It can cast a bunch of spells, so I was like, what am I even doing against it? But it doesn't really do too much of a damage. So I was like, oh, well, whatever, let's try it, we will see what happens. Yeah, I still hope that boosting will just boost all of my damage, because the first boost does your damage 2 times, but then you spend 2 turns on it. The second boost boosts your damage 3 times, but you are attacking in the third turn. So it's like, yeah, you just attack. If you are lucky, you can get an insane critical, but otherwise critical is not that big of a chance, so relying on that, yeah. I barely have anything left, and I see, yeah, I died. Now back to the jobs. Evoker is a shittier version of Summoner, and even a Summoner, I tried to cast some summoning spells with Sage that can use white, black and summoning magic all. Barely has any slots to use any, but whatever, and I thought, I cast it. They all missed a lot. So my problem, the top level, 8th level summoning spell is supposed to KO monsters, but it doesn't work on bosses. So why would I use it at all? And the 7th level still missed so much that I gave up on summoning spells in Final Fantasy III. I will never play those. It's just torture. Why even bother? And they barely got any amount of casting. So it's just stupid. Yeah, here it proves that it's quite a vending machine, some of these bosses. It's just needs to use weaker spells. It starts healing itself for half the damage I did, so it's pretty useless for it. I was glad it is doing that. So then there is Bard. Bard is pretty weak. It will never do any real damage. Imagine if it attacked twice. It would be the death of me, but it worked out. So I was like, okay, I see I'm getting in trouble, and I probably would need 5 to 10 more levels to make it safer. But the Bard is great when you are crawling through these long dungeons. It gives free healing, and I can do a couple of other tricks, but I use it for free healing, complementing the white mage, which did the emergency healing and had the opportunity to cast actual damaging spells. That was fine. That's why I had a Bard in my normal final team. You've seen what Black Belt can do. So what else we have here? Ninja. Ninja, who knows? It definitely can throw the ninja stars, the shurikens. That's its only ability. They hit like bunch of 10,000 damage or 20,000 maybe. It's not that great when you compare it to Retaliate, which easily can do 20,000-40,000 damage. Ninja is just whatever compared to a monk in that regard. And here comes the final battle. I probably will die once, maybe not, I'm not sure. the when you select attack or whatever, the upper tentacle is immune to physical damage, so attack the bottom one. It's like I have no defense stats, so it goes on down in like 1 or 2 hits. It's really, it does these lightnings and that hurts. That's not good. And this was, yeah, that went down. It gets its own shaky animation, but for a second it ends. It gets some anti-magic. That's the coloration at least. But I don't use magic, so joke on you. This was protect, so it protects against physical attack. So yeah, I will definitely lose or something. I was considering to using an elixir or stuff, and I probably did. It does just way too much damage. Yeah, I'm playing here the black belt, so yeah, this attempt will fail. It's just too much damage, and but I've seen it's doing, doesn't really doing the the plasma beam attack. That's horrible. And you need to prepare for that. It's just 4,000 damage or something like that. It's kind of insane. So that's a very huge, risky part of this fight. Okay, it was just 2,000, 2,500, something like that. At least I learned what are my ranges, where I have to pay attention. I was pretty confident that I can just do this, because I'm fully healing with elixirs, so leave me alone. But somewhere I miscalculated, or I'm actually curious what exactly happened. I know I fucked it up. The upper tentacle is immune to physical damage, only can be hurt by magical damage. But it doesn't really interfere with anything. Yeah, I'm thinking, oh, it did a beam, so it won't do it in next turn, maybe. And it does. So I died. I was like, fuck this shit. But I instantly went back and reevaluated my strategy, and this thing surprised even me. It's really absolutely unexpected win. See, it's just quit, go back, and you don't have to redo the entire dungeon. And I switched job, so I will probably die because I did not quit up the equipment. The impatient clicking. Come on, come on, come on. I'm not sure you are absolutely mandated to win the sub-bosses that gives you these Dark Warriors, or what happens if you just don't, or just do some of them. Somewhere it said this thing gets, the final boss gets bigger beam attack or something like that, but there is no actual statistics anywhere, so your guess is as good as mine. Considering what's left of this video, I will win. I don't know how. I'm just doing the revenge thing. and I just won. Why did I won? I didn't even do that much of a damage. Oh, 6 considered, you know, I attacked way less than the previous attempt. But you know, I take it. I absolutely take it. I won solo. Everybody.